How's it going out there, fellow guitar players? My name's Georges, and this is my first ever live stream. So please forgive me if things kind of look a little bit weird or whatever. But as you know, the whole world has turned a little bit strange with the coming of this virus, coronavirus. So I'm here in New Zealand, and I've decided to get a little bit more proactive. Dayton, good. Yeah, we're on total lockdown here in New Zealand, and yeah, I live on a farm out here, so we're pretty remote. So the self-isolation for us has been good, nice. How are you? So the purpose of this live stream, I guess, is just to connect with everybody. It seems like a lot of people out there, a lot of the subscribers for this channel seem to have a bit of spare time on their hands because, you know, there's work restrictions and whatever. So I thought I'd jump on live and field any questions that anybody has, or you know, jam. Your homestead has been crushing. What do you mean, bro? How's it been? A lot of these names are pretty familiar. If I'm not sure exactly who you are, just bear in mind that I've got 44,000 subscribers and I can't really remember everybody, but these names that are coming through, I do remember. Hey, Michael, oh, favorite song. I don't know. I guess it depends what kind of mood I'm in. There's lots of cool pieces out there. Oh, wow, favorite song. Man, there's so many genres too. I think classical. I don't know. Oh, yeah, I don't know, man. I've been in so many different musical jobs in my life too. So many great songs out there. I'd hate to just restrict myself to like one. How's it going there? Who have we got there? I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Bibaz, is it? Yeah, I have been away, everybody. The truth is, a lot of things happened, good things, but it took me away from the channel. For those of you that have been around for a long time, you know, subscribed to me for a long time, you'll know that in the early years, kind of 2016 to 2017, and even into 2018, I was uploading stuff all the time. And it's tough, man, because, well, of course, you have to get the piece performance ready. Putting yourself out on YouTube, it can be quite merciless. You know, there's a lot of people out there that are kind of angry and whatever, and you know, they're hating on you and stuff. Those of you probably know that I also make the tabs and the scores and that as well, and that takes quite a bit of time. And of course, I upload all of that to my website, and I've got to create PDFs, JPEGs, watermarks. I edit everything myself. I have to upload to Vimeo. I have to upload here to YouTube, tag everything, and it's a huge job. And I was doing that, plus I was performing. When I started this channel, I was performing in China at a hotel called the Shenzhen Nanhai Hotel in Shenzhen. So that's where I uploaded my first ever instructional video. I was living there, performing in the hotel. So you would notice that throughout the years, I've had many different backgrounds. You know, now you can see this background. I'm sitting in my caravan, filming this. Yeah, it's a little bit of my journey. What else have you got there? Oh, Alison, hi. Yeah, you're welcome. I wasn't too sure how this was going to go. I didn't give anybody any warning. I think I threw something up about a week ago saying that I might go live, and then I just thought it's Easter Sunday here in New Zealand, so it's even quieter than normal. And I live in a quiet place, so I thought, I'm just going to go live. and just see what happens. See if anybody's out there listening. So where are you all? Everybody knows I'm in New Zealand. Oh, international. So we've got Ben, UK, and Michael, North Carolina, United States. Dayton, Northern California, in the house. Nice. Well, as we say here in New Zealand, kia ora. That means healthy. Upstairs on. How did you find my channel in that? And how long have you been subscribed? Or whoa, Egypt. Woohoo. Got some good friends from there. Oh, some questions coming in. Steve K. Do I prefer arranging for beginners to help them on their journey, or more advanced students who appreciate the difficulty of the pieces you are performing? And that's from Steve in Chicago. That's a pretty cool question. Teaching, I don't mind teaching any age. I've taught children as young as 5, I think it was the youngest. And the oldest student that I remember teaching, she was about 80. And that was actually my first official teaching job here in New Zealand. I was attending, we call it college here, but I think in America, you guys call it high school. So I was 17 years old, and I actually got the job at that high school teaching guitar as a night class, and I was teaching people from the age of, I think my youngest student then was about 7. And there's this lady in there, she was 80, and it was her first guitar lesson, and I was teaching a whole bunch of them all at the same time. So I don't really have a preference, as long as they're keen and they do their work. You have young kids that don't do their work, and you have adults that don't do their work. And I mean, it doesn't, I don't really mind. Neil Fox. How's it, Neil? When am I going to do another Bach number? Requesting Gavotte on Rondo. Ooh, that piece, man, that Gavotte. I first started learning it when I was a teenager, I think. Is this the one you're talking of? It's been a while. Is that the one? Yeah, I've thought about teaching it. I was thinking about it just the other day, man. Teaching that Gavotte. A beautiful piece, and the variations are so cool. It's been so long. Is that the one? I think that's the one. I can't remember offhand. But yeah, I've been thinking about that one for sure. And the other one, it's in B minor. I can't really remember. That one. It was either the Gavotte or the one I just did, and I can't even remember the name. But yeah, Bach. I think on this channel, Bach and Tarega would be the 2 most popular composers that people are often asking me for. So the next ones to come up, well, I've got to finish off Rosita. For those of you that know, I uploaded my playthrough of that shamefully about 8 months ago, and I haven't uploaded the tutorial for it. But I did send out an email yesterday to everyone in my emailing list. So there's about 5,000 people in that list, and in it I provided the link to the tabs and sheet music. I've made that free for the duration of this epidemic, or this pandemic. It's just my way of sort of giving back and contributing to everyone, because a lot of people are stuck at home. And I thought, I was pretty dodgy. I haven't uploaded the tutorial, so the least I can do is give away my transcription. Usually I just give away the sheet music, but this time I've just given away the whole score. It's coming in. Tchaikovsky, Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy. Whew. I don't know about that one, man. I'd have to have a listen. There's so many pieces of music I just don't know. Mate, Digital Liquid. I've been working on one of your tutorials for months. Which one? Maybe we can go through it and have a look. Have I heard of Louis Bonfire? Yes, I have. Or I don't know. See, the thing with with some of the music that I cover, I have to be careful about whose music I'm uploading and stuff. Sometimes, I'll upload something and it gets flagged by the YouTube community for something, or someone's claiming some rights over it, and I'm like, well, that piece is 400 years old. It's in the public domain, but I don't know how that works, man. It's kind of complicated, but I'd have to look to see if I could do that or not. Something by Louis Bonfire. Well, there's quite a few people. So what are you guys working on? What's everyone out there playing? My version of Greensleeves. Mate, you know what? I've got a transcription of that somewhere, and I haven't worked on it in about 2 years. The truth of it is I have lots of work in progress, and I have put guitar playing to the back. I'll just give you a little bit of my story for the last kind of year and a half or 2 years. So for those of you that don't know, I was a professional. Can't even speak. I was a professional musician for many years, and what I mean by that, I was traveling around the world. I did get eaten by a dinosaur, but I fought my way out. Yeah, so I was traveling around the world for years, living in 5-star hotels and performing in their nightclubs or bars or jazz bars, whatever they needed me to do. During that time, I decided to start this channel. So for those of you that have just joined, I started this channel in 2016, March, I do believe it was, and I was living in Shenzhen, China at the time. And I'd never uploaded anything before in my life, and I just started. So if you go back to my latest videos, some of them are a bit rough. I think my teaching technique was kind of the same, but just the video work and things were not quite as good as they are now. But yeah, I didn't want to keep touring forever. If any of you out there know what I'm talking about and can relate, it does get tiring. You're going from country to country to country all the time, and for me, it was often no one spoke English. The staff usually do in the hotels, but going out on the streets pretty tough sometimes, and it does wear you down. And so I've always been thinking, gee, how could I kind of move away from this and get back to a normal kind of life? So I started up the channel, and I got a bit busy with another online business that I have, and so the guitar had to take a step back, and that's why I haven't really been that active for, let's say, the better part of a year. Lisa, do I know any flamenco pieces? I'm gonna say no, because I'm just so terrible at it. I've got one of Peco Pina's book, Toques Flamencos. I bought that years and years ago, and it's always been a work in progress. But I always felt flamenco is one of those things that I'd rather just be there in Spain, being taught by somebody, or just hanging out at the flamenco clubs or whatever it is they do, and learn like that. Yeah, I've sort of played some things. Something like that. Hey, Dayton, yeah, man, have a good feed. Antonio Loro. Oh, love it. Actually, someone just gave me some advice about how I play Antonio Loro. They said that he slides a lot more, this sort of, that sort of thing. Yeah, it was on my website. Someone left a comment quite a while ago, and I just got around to answering it. Shamefully, that's how slack I've been. Yeah, and so he said that the way that I'm playing, although it's kind of nice, it's not how Loro used to play a lot of. I love Antonio Loro's music. It's incredible, incredible. Pretty challenging stuff too. He must have been a monster player to do that. It's incredible. Some amazing guitarist composers came out of South America back in the day. Oh, probably still do. What else we got? You got to commit. Choose your poison. Just finished Capriccio Arab, working on Grand Valse and Adelita. Oh, nice, nice. Love those pieces. Tarega. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. What pieces am I practicing at the moment? Yeah. Nothing. Yeah. I have been sort of going back through Rosetta, which was my last proper upload. I've been going back through that because I do want to put the tutorial out. It's the only piece that I've uploaded that I haven't put up a tutorial for. So. Oh. Guitar gets frustrating sometimes. My first year into classical, and it's still pretty hard. Had 3 years heavy metal prior, but now I want to play classical. How does one stay motivated? Wow, now that is an amazing question. Motivation. It's probably the thing that kills off everybody at some point. Yeah, at some point. And let's just accept it. Everybody loses motivation at some point. No matter how passionate you are. There's so many people, like my close family and friends, they can't believe that I hardly play the guitar anymore. They thought me and the guitar were like this, inseparable, intertwined duo, going through life. And then they rock up sometimes and, oh, where's your guitar? Oh, no, man, it's locked away. It's gathering dust. I guess I sort of lost motivation too. Even overworking can sometimes, you just lose motivation because it starts to almost feel like you're being punished. Not punished per se, but, sort of becomes a job. Even this channel, to a certain degree, was becoming like that. Because you build this community. Oh, in my instance anyway, let's just say the motivation was becoming quite a lot of pressure. But how to stay motivated? You're coming from a metal background. Just go back, listen to some metal. Listen to non-guitar music. Listen to all kinds of music. You know, you're in Egypt there, so I guess there's a pretty rich culture there that you can expose yourself to. Listen to a lot of the music there. I used to listen to quite a few metal bands when I lived in the Middle East. In case you didn't know, I lived in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Bahrain, Oman for years of my life, actually performing. I've been to a few heavy metal concerts out there. I know there's a big scene. I used to do a metal night in a club called Rock Bottom in Muscat in Oman. We used to do Thursday night was metal for the first hour. So I'm a metaler too, man, from way back. So I know where you're at. Just find other things to do, you know, and then come back to the guitar. How do I improve Picardo? Okay, so that's the second time I've seen that question. Probably something you can do there. I'm a little bit rusty, but I think something really nice is to play dotted rhythms. So scales with dotted rhythms. So this is a non-dotted rhythm. This is just normal. So, you know, sometimes we learn our scales back in the day, and we might just do a C major scale like this. Okay, most of us have done something like that at some point. So what you can do when I say dotted rhythm is you just put a little dot in the rhythm. So it's going to sound, I'm not going to explain what it looks like in notation, but it's going to sound two ways. So you'll have it, your normal note dotted, and then the short note. So it'll be like this. Okay, so I'll do that again. So there, see, your fingers have to rush. Da-da. Instead of it's, and then you do it the other way. So you do the short note, then the dotted one. So it'll be like this. Okay, so that causes your fingers to rush. Okay, so that's, you know, just try that, and of course use your metronome and just pump that speed up as you grow in confidence and you feel like, yeah, I'm good at that speed. Then click it up right at the end of your session and just make mistakes. You know, it's fine. Remember what speed you were at, and then the next day or your next practice session, build up to it again. You know, start a few beats under where you were maxing out, hit your max, and then hopefully it's a very gradual process. You'll get quicker and quicker and quicker. Oops, sorry. These are coming in pretty quick. Okay, good to know, Ben, that I'm not the only lazy person out there. Thank you for chiming in and giving me lazy support. Yes, I recently took that down, Michael. The Concerto de Aranjuez. Copyright issues. So I removed that. Shop got in contact with me and they don't like it, which is fair enough. But I sort of messaged them back and said, hey, is there a way we can collaborate? I think, you know, this is getting a bit political, but for me, I'm not a big fan of this kind of, oh, you know, if you can't read music, you're not a real classical guitar player, or, you know, like you're subhuman or something. There's that elitism out there, and I don't like it. I have more of an egalitarian approach to music. I know for a fact that there's many brilliant players out there that can't play stuff only because they can't read music. The technical facility is there, the musical ability is there. The only thing lacking, they can't read music and they can't read tabs. And that's actually one of the reasons I started this channel way back in the day. Even from my first lesson, if any of you have ever seen it, you'll know that I explain things no differently to I do now. I imagine that you can't read music and you can't read tab. And that's why I take all this time to go, your first finger goes from there to there. And because for me, I'm fine with it. My most important mission is to help people learn to play the pieces that they love. I don't personally give a damn if you can read music or if you can't. I don't think it makes you a superior human being or inferior or whatever. So, yeah. So anyway, I hit up Shot to see if they wanted to work together with me somehow, because there's still a reluctance out there to put some pieces out with tabs. I don't know if you noticed, but some pieces, you still can't get tabs for them. Like Concerto de Aranjuez, for example. Can't get tabs. Anyway, I've got to carry on. I find playing electric is easy enough due to the thinner neck. I prefer the sound of classical guitar. I worry that my hand's not broad enough to play with a decent level of skill. You know what? I feel you, man, because sometimes I look at my stumpy little fingers and think, could they just be a couple of millimeters longer? Because there's always something. You know, there's always one chord or something somewhere. There's this piece, there's a chord like that in Serenata Española. And I knew, like, if I could just hold that and there, I could sustain that note and it would sound mean. It would sound beautiful, but I just can't. Just a physiological restriction. But you know what? There's plenty of other pieces that you can play that don't involve these mind-boggling stretches, you know, that seem to... The classical guitar is riddled with, you know, this. So you can, if your fingers aren't too broad, first just check on your line with these frets. See, like, you don't really want to... When you're playing electric, it's a bit different. You know, you can sort of get away with different things, even looping over the top. You know, but with classical, usually you don't want to do that because, you know, these stretches they're just coming all the time. You know, in many pieces. So you want to try to keep your finger basically in line with the fret. You know, not out like that or like that, for the most part. For the most part. So if you've got a bad thumb position, which is usually where people are going wrong, their thumbs are sort of, you know, looped over the top, or they're a bit like this or something. The idea is to have your finger pretty much on the same line as your thumb. You know, like this, not really like that. And then you can stretch further. Yeah. So that's one way to kind of combat fingers that can't stretch so far, and of course force them to stretch a little bit. Of course, we're always going to have some physical limitations. You know, I used to look at guitarists these days with the super long fingers, and I'm jealous, but hey, what can I do? I can still play a bit. You know, you can do little exercises like that. And just see how far you can get. Don't worry if it sounds crappy. You're just trying to stretch out. You know, mine's not sounding very good, so that's a bit of a limit. That's quite comfortable. You know, and you just keep doing it. You know, drop the shoulder a little bit, but still try to retain the normal posture as much as you can. Everyone's out back on YouTube. Oh, everyone's cut back on YouTube. Yeah, I guess it just gets tiring, man, you know. So you've got to take a break from time to time. Mason, Otero, thank you for making such good quality material. You're welcome, man. Absolutely. I wouldn't put up anything that I thought I wouldn't want to watch. And that guides me a lot. I made a bit of an investment ages ago to get a camera that could film in 4K. That was the Panasonic Lumix G7. And I'm so glad I did. I didn't have much money back then, but I thought, you know what? If I'm going to upload, I'm going to upload in 4K. And that's when 4K was kind of just coming on the scene. That was, March 2016. First couple of videos I did were with an iPhone 6S Plus. So, that was cool. But I thought, nah, I'm going to go to 4K. and they can. There's a couple of reasons. Of course, it looks nice, but also from an editing point of view, when I zoom in, there's some shots in my videos where you can see my fingers up close because I want to try to explain something in greater detail. And with 4K, I can zoom right in, and I don't lose too much picture quality. So I'm glad I made that decision back then. So that's part of the overall quality that you're talking about. Also splashed out and bought a nice little microphone that sits on top of the camera, which I thought was another good investment. Neil, do I get stage fright? Yes and no. And I'll answer that more explicitly. It depends what I'm playing. For some reason, and I haven't done this in years, I haven't had to do a solo classical recital for a long time, but if I'm playing solo classical guitar, I tend to get pretty nervous, man, before it starts. Don't know why, but if I'm playing acoustic stuff like in the clubs that I used to do, I don't get nervous at all. I get excited. And I think what it is that when I'm doing solo classical guitar, I'm very exposed. It's just me. It's just the guitar, and that's it. I can't hide behind anything. And of course, there's always that expectation around classical music that you've got to be perfect. Whereas when I play acoustic guitar, stuff like that, November Rain, I uploaded November Rain. It's my most popular video. I'm not nervous when I play that type of music. I'm fine. It could be because there's a band with me or something like that, so I don't feel, like I said, I don't feel so exposed. But I do get stage fright in that situation. But what I tend to do is I just breathe, and I try to live in the moment and enjoy the moment for what it is, because it will never come again. And I do remember reading something in Pumping Nylon by Scott Tennant, which, if you guys don't have that book, you should get that book. It changed my guitar life, man. Pumping Nylon by Scott Tennant. Anyway, in there's a quote from his teacher. I think it was a quote from Pepe Romero. I'm not quite sure. Please don't quote me on that. But in there somewhere, one of his teachers told him, the sun will always come up tomorrow. And Scott Tennant himself uses that, I think, when he gets a little bit nervous. Oh, whoops. Sorry, this has gone. Like I said, apologies. I've never done a live stream before, so I'm sort of trying to explain stuff, and I'm just getting used to the layout here. So what have we got? Neil. Whoops. No one's ever given me a hard time because I play a cutaway. Yeah, and if they did, I'll keep playing one. I can play a cutaway or non. It doesn't really make a difference. This is the one I bought for touring. So when I tour, and I wasn't doing classical concert touring. Let's just get that straight. I was doing concert touring for nightclubs and stuff, spending 6 months in one country, then going to another. So this type of guitar is way handier, having an electric or semi-acoustic, whatever you want to call it. I'm from New Zealand. It's going out to Nahuel, I think. I hope I pronounced your name right. Yeah, so people don't give me a hard time. Actually, on my channel, for some reason, I don't get that much of a hard time. I think, generally speaking, most people are quite happy with what I'm doing and with the content I release. I get some stuff, a few people not that nice, but that's life, eh, man? You get that anywhere. Ben, glad I could be of service. Tandala, thank you for your generosity of teaching us all these wonderful pieces. Will you do a tutorial on Concerto de Aranjuez second movement anytime in the future? I shouldn't have gone live. All these things are starting to catch up with me. I've been saying I was going to do one for, I think it's 2 years now. I haven't gotten around to it. Yes, you've seen it here, everybody, live. Yes, I will definitely get around to doing that. Such a beautiful. My memory's not so good. Oops. No. Yeah, I've got to get around to that. Where are we now? How much you last learning a song? I'm thinking you're asking how long does it take me to learn a piece? Depends. There's no easy way to answer that. Some pieces, believe it or not, I can learn in like half an hour. It just depends. Some of the stuff I've uploaded on the channel, I've literally learned just a couple of days beforehand. Some of the shorter pieces, but you know, there are some pieces out there, Nahuel, that take a lifetime to learn, or you're constantly working on them or whatever. For example, the Concerto de Arpes. I still don't play the whole thing. I just concentrated on the middle movement. I figured out a long time ago that I was never going to be a concert classical guitarist. I've given little concerts here and there, but you know, I'm not at that level. Yeah, I'm a good guitar player, and that I know, but I'm not that good to be traveling around the world and filling up concerts. But I don't mind, you know. So I take my no pressure. Yeah. What else we got there? Recording music is tough. If I play most of the piece correctly until maybe the last bit of it, then my heart just rushes in fear of making a mistake. Dude, it happens to me too, man. That happens to me. I'm like, oh my god, I'm getting through this piece. I'm nearly done. Oh! I don't know. It could be a lack of the way I was taught or whatever, but I feel that excitement too when I'm getting through a piece. I'm like, man, I haven't made a mistake yet. This is working pretty well. And then something happens. Brittany. Hi, Brittany. Do I need a classical guitar to play classical music? No, you don't. Use your Fender. Fenders are amazing. Use it for now. But of course, if you want a classical guitar sound, you need a classical guitar. Pete, what do you have 5 what, buddy? Neil, so hopefully I just kind of answered that. Oh, we got someone from Korea. 안녕하세요. Kim Ki-ryong. Oi! What are you doing here, bro? Oh man. Okay, so I'm catching up on this. Oh, thank you very much, Pete. Thank you, man. I've been away from the guitar for a while. Sometimes it feels like my fingers aren't even mine. But that concerto, it's so beautiful, eh? Ah, could play that all day. Love how the oboe does it in there too. How long have I been playing? 32 years, I think. 32 years. Quite some time. You can't wait forever. I'm not sure what you mean. I made a video of me playing a couple of tunes I learned from your videos. Pretty shite, but I'd love some pointers. Well, what did you play, man? Digital Liquid? Which pieces? Currently learning... Oh, Elfin Lead. Nice. See me in a year or so. Okay, come back. Recuerdos de la Alhambra. Oh, man. Nah, my fingers they're just not going to work for that one, bro. I think I need a good solid couple of weeks to get my fingers back in action. My apologies, but it's this hand. Yeah, it'll be painful for you guys to listen to. Ooh. I can't believe how quickly you guys are commenting. Oh, 5 guitars. Oh, yeah. What do you got? Which ones? Classical guitars, the real guitar. Oh, that's nice of you, Mason. Yeah, bro, I'm old as. I just turned 46. Just a couple of days ago was my birthday. My wife cooked me a beautiful bacon and egg, mushrooms and tomato breakfast. And good old mum made me a, what's it called? A pineapple cake. Oh, good one, man. Good one, Bibaz. I think that's how you say your name. It's 3 a.m. in Egypt, eh? But hey, catch me in 30 minutes of bark before bed. Yes, you can. See, and actually, you know, I taught guitar for a long time before my international career kind of started taking off. And I used to teach a lot of adults that were, of course, under lots of time constraints. They had kids, they had a mortgage to pay, they had jobs, and various other hobbies, and they'd come to their guitar lessons sometimes. Oh, Josh, I just couldn't find any time to practice during the week. And I said, oh, are you sure? And I said, oh, let me know your daily routine. And they say, oh, I'm eating breakfast, I'm reading the newspaper, and blah, 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 blah. I'll say, you realize you don't have to just find a half an hour in one, 30-minute uninterrupted gap. You can get 10 minutes there, 5 minutes there, 10 minutes there. It's not always practical, but you'll be amazed where there are little pockets throughout the day or the night, depending on what type of job you have, where you can sneak in a little bit of guitar practice. Oh, thank you very much for the happy birthdays. Thank you. It's very nice. Yes, I did. I studied guitar at the Victoria University of Music under a wonderful guitar player called William Bauer. At the time, William was running I think it was called the Baroque Consort here in New Zealand, a very well respected Baroque group. That's what they specialized in, and they played Baroque instruments only, or exclusively, I should say. They played, of course, only Baroque music on Baroque period instruments. So he was right into that. He wasn't really playing the guitar at all when I became his student. He was playing lute pretty much all the time. But of course, he was an amazing guitar player. He also taught Matthew Marshall. For those of you that don't know, Matthew Marshall was the classical guitarist in New Zealand about 20 years back. Amazing player. Yeah, so lessons with William Feasley. And some of you might have seen my pretty cool lesson that I did with Andre DeVitas. Wow, what a guy, man. Such a pleasant dude. And he's got to be, certainly in the upper echelon of classical guitarists today, and a very genuine, likable guy. So if you haven't seen those videos and you want to play Capricho Arabe like a beast, go and watch those videos, man. The videos of me playing with Andres. So how I did that, I signed up to this website and I was able to kind of contact him and ask if I could do a lesson, and I also asked if I could have permission to use his video lesson. That, you know, so like, sorry, I'll put it into a more logical time frame. So I got the lesson with him. I had to send a video of me playing Capricho Arabe. I sent it to him. He watched it, analyzed my performance, and gave me tips and pointers, and then explained each one. It was very nice. And then, of course, I pieced that, and I did like what people would call these days a reaction video. So I reacted to him critiquing me. And that video has been quite well received, actually. Yeah, so I'd say I've had a lesson with him. Also, Gohard Vardanyan, she gave me a lesson, but she didn't want me to share that out, which is fair enough. That's cool. It's her prerogative. Not everyone wants their stuff shared out online, and I can totally respect that. A little bit addicted. Yeah, there's always time. Oh, best of luck with your studies in Germany. Hotel California. Man. Oh. Been a long time. What's the name of the book you mentioned before? Pumping Nylon by Scott Tennant. You can look in any of my videos pretty much, and there's a link to it in the description. But just Pumping Nylon by Scott Tennant. Amazing. If you're really serious about getting good and you haven't got access to a good teacher, get that book. I think it's even more advanced now. When I got it, there was just a CD with it that shows my age. But now I think it's the book plus a DVD or some type of digital links or something like that. I don't know. I haven't bought it because I've still got the original. Ellison, reading music has held me back from learning chords by their names. Any recommendations for learning them properly? I would also like to know more about theory, but it's difficult to learn from books. Yeah, I understand. I didn't learn theory by myself. I was learning with my first guitar teacher called Peter Thwaites. He was teaching me here in New Zealand, and then he went back to Australia a long time ago. Wonderful man. He instilled the love of music and guitar. Oh, well, guitar in particular. I already loved music, but yeah, he put that in. He instilled that into me, the love of guitar. But I sort of learned theory at the same time that I learned the guitar. So I wasn't one of those players that has been playing guitar for ages and then thought, oh, I should go back and learn theory. So I don't even know how that feels. You know, I can empathize, but yeah, I can imagine it would be quite difficult. But you know, just jump in there and do it. Some of the cool ways that, you know what, even me, there are some times when I'm struggling with some rhythms in that. I don't struggle with the pitch, but there are certain rhythms. Like even the Concerto de Aranjuez, if you've ever seen the score, it's a nightmare. And if you get yourself a program like Guitar Pro 6 or 7, which is what I use to create all the scores that I make available for all of my lessons, that can actually teach you a bit. Because I put in these rhythms, and then the computer plays it, of course, and the computer plays it perfectly. Oh, that's how that rhythm goes. Yeah. So don't feel like you're totally alone out there. But the Frederick notebooks are really good for learning how to play and read music. Yeah, definitely. Aaron Shearer, those are good books. Anything Frederick Node, Aaron Shearer in particular. If you're learning how to read music, have a look. We'll furnish you with coronavirus donation if you can give me some pointers. I'm all good, man. What pointers do you need? Buy fake nails. Cockroach matter. Oh, Mansoor, you're welcome, dude. You're welcome. Where are we? You need a teacher. I watched those videos. Really good job on that. Hey, thanks. Yeah, thanks, Neil. I really enjoyed doing it. It was really hard to put those videos together. I'd never done anything like that, so I had to kind of watch Andreas, then kind of film myself. And it was complicated anyway. It's quite hard. It took me hours and hours and hours to make those videos. Sibelius? No, I haven't used Sibelius in a long time. The reason I don't, because, well, it's pretty expensive, and for guitar players, it's unnecessary. Sibelius has a whole lot of stuff that you just don't need as a guitar player. I use Guitar Pro 7. It's pretty cheap. Yes, it does have its limitations, but you know what? For the most part, it's more than most people will ever need. Sibelius is if you're doing really, really kind of complicated stuff. I've been writing music for years, transcribing and that, and I don't think you need it. If you're already good with Sibelius, then yeah, go ahead and get it. Spend heaps of money, but you'll find you're not even going to use 99% of it because it's mainly for orchestra. Cubase, oh, yep. Yeah, what an interesting thing to see. So yeah, let's have a look at Rosita then. And let's just do a little analysis while I'm here. You guys are lucky, I suppose, because this is before the instructional videos even come out. So, little chord. That's an A7 chord. So I talk about some techniques. Often I reiterate these in the videos, but just in case you don't know, moving to that chord, I'm doing just a push out, and I just slide that finger there like that. And then next time, I think I do a ponticello. Yeah. What am I being asked then? Did you learn anybody else? Man, I know heaps of buddy else already, but I haven't really put much on the channel. I think I've only got one or two. Julia Florida, that one. Baccarol is the other name for it. Come on. Oh, I can't really remember. It's been a long time. What's some other body else there? Oh, yeah. Been a while. I can't even remember what this is called. Valse Opus 3, number 8, I think. Hold on. What's the best warm-up before practicing? Honestly, man, if you don't have much time, I think just running through some basic slurs and pull-offs or something like a triplet hammer-on pull-off combo. Something like that. What's some other bottles? Oh. Something like that, I can't quite remember. Who's that guy looking through the window behind you? No, could be a zombie. The dogs would bark. If it was a zombie, we've trained them. Just in case you didn't know that last Barrios piece, Un Sueño en la Floresta, it's got that cool tuning. Drop D and drop G. Beautiful. What an introduction. I can play that all day, Elon. Is it? Oh, Ion, is it? E-I-O-N. You are welcome, man. Yeah, I think I'm going to do a few more lives. It's quite a bit of fun, and actually because of course, as a YouTuber, I'll call myself a YouTuber, there's not that much interaction. I mean, I try to answer most comments, which is a pretty big task in itself, but it's not really live, whereas here, this is cool. I can actually see you, well, not see you guys, but I can read your comments live, and it's pretty neat. How often do you think you need to play a piece to maintain it and possibly improve a little? Oh, man. That probably varies from person to person. You probably got mates out there that they just seem to remember stuff, without any effort. There are some pieces I can play from years and years ago, and I never forget. But then there's stuff I can learn, like actually, shamefully, quite a bit of the stuff on the channel, I've got to go back and look at it. Because I'll be honest, sometimes you start to feel like a bit of a production line, and you've got to crank these pieces out because people are asking, and you don't want to let people down. And well, not people, the community, I should say, is asking, and you're like, oh man, you feel a bit guilty, and so you just crank out these pieces. And I'll tell you, sometimes I've uploaded stuff and I nearly forget the very next day after it's done because I've just been so in it, getting everything done, getting it uploaded, and then once that's done, it's gone. But I can get it back pretty quickly. If it's like if you've learned something and you go back, it's not like you're totally relearning it again. It's your brain seems to have held on to it for you, just stashed it away. I've just got to fix up a few bits. But I'd say if, I don't know, it's all different. Everyone's unique. Please teach me some best techniques. Oh man, I guess probably one of the best techniques for classical guitar anyway is just making sure you can use at least these two fingers alternating. So I've got a lot of cousins. They are phenomenal guitar players, actually. Like, wow. When it comes to playing guitar, they're quite curious about classical. They don't play classical, but they always want to learn some, particularly this piece. Many people know that piece, even non-classical guitar players know that piece. And of course it involves A, M, I, and P. That's how you play this piece. But I've got cousins, that they can play it, but they just use this finger. But I can't even do it. And they can play it just like I do, with one finger, just this one. It blows me away that they can do that, but they can. So my advice is just, make sure you can do. Make sure you learn to alternate these two fingers well. And then that's going to unlock heaps of guitar, classical guitar. And then try to get the 3 going. So if you're not familiar with some of my videos, try going to the Giuliani. I've got 12 videos in there. There was a huge amount of work. As far as I know, I'm the only guitarist that's ever released all 120 lessons on YouTube in 4K. So you can just go there and boom. And that teaches you a lot about your hand placement and just trying to keep everything steady in a nice, good motion with your fingers. So this kind of thing. So the idea there is to aim. My guitar teacher, William Bauer, taught me, he said balance amongst all the notes. So the idea there, you don't want your hand to move around too much. So don't do this sort of, which some people have a tendency to do, this sort of, you know, jumping away from the strings. I'm exaggerating a bit there, but the idea is to keep everything pretty steady and keep the motion from here, like this. Not like this. So like the windscreen wiper on a car, pivoting from one point, not really this type of thing. Yeah. So that's one really good technique. Most guitarists that I come across that aren't classical guitarists, they struggle with this hand. This finger's flying, you know, they're used to using a pick. But when they try to do that, a lot of them get really frustrated. I'm not sure if that's where you're at, but if your right hand isn't functioning well, just spend some time just making sure you keep relaxed and try to generate your stroke from here and here. Oh, Allison, yeah, I understand. The big stretches. Whew. Welcome to the world of Antonio Laura. He must have had some beastie fingers. Or he must have had a hand, you know, to play some of that stuff. But all the best with that. Schubert, Serenade, yep, heard your Tundalat. I've got Instagram, NBN Guitar. Did I ever use drugs for practice guitar? Nope. Playing is a drug. Drunk a lot of beer. Too much beer. Oh, is it, do I pronounce your name Xavier or Javier? I'm not sure. Mr. Cook, you are welcome, bro. I'm glad, you know, if you're playing and it's partially some of the stuff you play is because of me, that's cool. It means my channel and what I've done has been meaningful. Smooth legato, EQ, soft reverb. Yeah, so Pete, are you talking about recording? There's a few sort of mixes there. EQ, soft reverb. I do a bit of that on my channel for post-production. I don't record in a big hall or anything. I don't have that facility available to me. So I just record wherever I happen to be at the time. And in post, which means after I've done the recording and I'm going through and sort of fixing it up, sometimes I'll use a bit of EQ. I always use reverb. I think the reverb I was using belongs to Final Cut Pro. I'm an avid Mac user, very reliable. So I use Final Cut Pro, and they've got some wonderful sounds that I have. So I have a preset, and I tend to just slap that on and then just go in and kind of fine tune it. But I always put a little bit of reverb on. Sometimes some EQ. Sometimes. Oh, I wish I spoke Portuguese, man. Querido amigo, abraços aqui do Brazil. Hey there, Brazil. Green sleeves, man, probably not. Yeah, it was a little bit. Oh, got through it. Yeah, Final Cut Pro is good, man. Yeah. Grand Vals. You started with grand vols. Whew, amazing. Thank you. Hey, see you later, Neil. Good one, man. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I did Boomer. How much does a coffee cost in New Zealand? From just a normal cafe, it's going to cost you anywhere between $3 to $5 New Zealand dollars. I think in the US, that's about $2, $2 to $3, something like that, for a coffee at a cafe in New Zealand. Yeah, editing software has, man. It's come along, and I make. Oh, well, actually, my wife helped me heaps. She made up a few templates for me, so when I've done a video, I just slap those templates on, and it takes care of the lighting and quite a few things. Oh, Mason, man, bro, I didn't even know that was possible. $2, dude. How does that even work? Well, thank you, man. I'm not sure who that goes to, if it goes to YouTube or how that all works, but well, thank you very much, man. Gledson, I don't understand what that means, man. Ultima Cancer. Is that a song? Am I an MMA fight fan? Like I watch a little bit, but I'm a big boxing fan. That's what I'm into. I've been into boxing for ages. My old man was into boxing. He taught me how to box. I've always been into martial arts. And yeah, but surprisingly, MMA, I just prefer boxing. Yeah, MMA, I'm not really into the grappling and all that. I just can't get into seeing the people fighting on the ground. It's just, even though it's amazing, I know it's super technical and stuff, it's just not for me. Boxing, that's what I really, really enjoy watching. I have had the privilege of going to Lumpini Stadium in Bangkok, Thailand, and went there and watched some Muay Thai live. That was amazing. Had lots of beers, probably too many beers, but it was awesome, man. Yeah, so I love martial arts, boxing. Yeah, Asrael Adesanya. Yeah, man, he's like the poster boy here in New Zealand. I think he won New Zealand Sportsman of the Year, and deservedly so. I think an amazing accomplishment for him. Thanks for the coffee, man. I like coffee too. I never used to drink it. My wife got me into it, and now I'm sort of addicted. 200 gig software, man. That's a lot. It must. What is that? Is that like all sound files and stuff? Must be, eh? Can I play Villa Lobos? Man, I wish I could remember that Mazurka choro. So beautiful, eh? Yeah, Villa Lobos. I used to play a lot, but I just can't remember a lot of this stuff. Forget. Sorry. Thank you, Nivaldo. It's a nice thing for you to say, man. I'm not really too sure who runs the old MMA, UFC. I think I just played a Brazilian song there. Yeah, absolutely, Alison. Amazing music. Oh, thanks, Theo, man. This is the second part. I can't believe I totally forgot that. Give me a little bit of a moment. Well, a few mistakes in there, but that goes out to the people from Brazil. Oh, the gymnipedies, yeah. I should. Yeah, I should get around to those. At least gymnipedy number 1. I do have Nosien number 1. So that's something. I haven't ignored Sati altogether on the channel. Thank you. Thank you. A little bit rusty in places, as you could probably hear, but hey, it's all about the music. That's one thing to remember as well. Just there, if any of you are doing exams or whatever, and you have that sight reading exam, then you just power on through a piece. Even if you forget, like this is a little different because this isn't really a performance per se, but just don't stop. Even if you're mucking it up and you're like, oh man, it's gone, just keep on playing. It's even worse just to stop and break down. Who is my favorite composer? I don't have one. There's too much great music out there from the past and the present to kind of limit myself to a favorite. But I do love probably the same people that you guys love out there. Tadega, of course. If we're just going to talk about guitar composers, Tadega. Massive. Who else do we have? Villalobos. Just finished playing one of his pieces. Absolutely amazing. Amazing. Barrios, for sure. Nikita Koshkin. I don't play much of his guitar music, but it's phenomenal. I had to play the Usher Waltz for one of my exams. What a piece! I don't know if I... Oh, listen to that. Yeah, that I haven't played that in years. It's absolutely amazing. You know, modern music, Nikita Koshkin, incredible composer. So he writes some wonderful stuff. Gypsy jazz, oh man, I've been like on a gypsy jazz binge fest for a while, watching Joshko Stefan or Josho. I don't exactly know how to pronounce his name. Sorry. What a guitar player, man! Just phenomenal. I love gypsy jazz. I think it's beautiful. Yeah. I wish I could play it, but I can't. I've never really tried. It's one of those styles I just sit back and enjoy and think I'd love to be able to play it, but I'm just going to cruise and enjoy listening to it. Hey, Daniel. Hi from New Zealand. Oh, Liebestraum, number 3. Oh, sorry, I'm sort of going all over the place. My favorite Bach piece? I do love the fugue. This one. I do love that one. Of course, Jesu Joy of Man's Desiring. I think that is just, I don't know. For me, it's one of the most beautiful pieces ever. A lot of people, of course, we're attracted to these complex, massive pieces. So some might say the Chaconne, in D minor, particularly made famous by Segovia. His recording, his seminal recording of that piece. I don't know how many years ago now. Could be 70 years ago or something when he recorded that. And of course, it's like the rite of passage for the very elite of elite players. They play that. Well, I do like it. And of course, it is amazing. A lot of people say it's the most perfect piece of music ever written. I'm not sure. I don't even know how you say a piece of music is perfect or imperfect. But yeah, for Bach, probably that fugue or Jesu, Joy of Man's Desiring. Tatiana Rytikova plays well for a girl. Oh man, she just plays well for a human. She's amazing, awesome. Puts a lot of work into her videos too, and seems like a genuinely lovely girl. Great player. I think she recently got endorsed too by Cordoba. Is it Cordoba Guitars? She had a video out just the other day. I think she might have a signature model guitar. I don't know that it's called the Tatiana Rytikova guitar or not, but I'm pretty sure she's been endorsed by them now. Oh man, speaking of amazing female guitar players, I was just watching Tina S last night. My brother and I. I've got three older brothers. Two of them are very good guitar players and singers in their own right. It kind of runs in the family, I suppose. Yeah, and we were just commenting about Tina S. We were watching her performance of Through the Fire and the Flame. And who else? Oh, a couple of other tracks that she covered. Just phenomenal. Orianthe, Shui Fei Yang. Who else is there? Anna Vidovit. So many. So many. Leona Boyd. Antigone Goni. So many. Wonderful. What's my favorite piece about harmony and chord progression? I do like the Laura piece. Progressions like this. That's amazing for me. Where was this? What is it? I mean, that's just wow. Even here, this whole line. Here again. Phenomenal. The chord work in there. Sorry. I love that piece in particular for the chords. It's the one that comes to mind as well for just having lots of phenomenal chords just running one after the other. Even the second part when it modulates to the tonic major. Even those. This sort of change here. Beautiful. Ah. Most difficult piece I ever played. It's probably one that I was starting to learn last year for an FTCL exam, which is a piece by, oh man, let's see if I can find it. I think it's just here. Got it. Yeah, Aquarelle. This one. Don't know if you guys can, if that's back to front. Sergio Assad. What a piece. Woo! I'd say it's this. Yeah, probably the hardest piece I've ever encountered in my life. Aquarelle by Sergio Assad, one half of the Assad brothers, of course. Known for his astonishing compositional work for the guitar, and of course matched by an equally ferocious and phenomenal technique. Hey, nice to meet you too, Daniel. I've got to go to Spain one day. Believe it or not, I've never been. Can't believe it. Love the guitar so much, and I've never been to Spain. It's almost shameful. Mason, what do you mean, buddy? What's it like living in residency? Do you mean like living in the hotels when I'm working? Oh, 3:48 in Spain. Good night, amigo. What do they say? Hasta mañana. Yeah, so, okay, working in the hotels. For those of you who don't know, I did spend many years working in the hotels around the world. 5-star, 4-star hotels. If you don't know, and you've never been in one, a lot of them have live music. It's just one of those things, like you walk into the hotel lobby, there's a piano player there and whatever. Some other hotels, they actually have full-on nightclubs or clubs, jazz bars. They have all that kind of stuff, and they want live music. Well, a lot of them do. Some just have music playing just from a MP3 or whatever. But a lot of hotels also want live music. And fortunately for me, I come from an English-speaking country, and they do tend to like musicians that come from the UK, Australia, America, you know, countries where English is the #1 language. The reason why they do that is because 5-star hotels, they tend to be business hotels. A lot of people that are passing through are business people, and the international language of business is English. So, of course, I kind of get first options on some of those jobs simply because I was fortunate enough to be born in an English-speaking country. So, basically, the residency goes like this. I get my job. Hasta la pasta. I get my job. And I don't know how to describe it, but this is generally what the hotel will do for you. They'll organize your work visa in their country. They'll organize your flights, or your agent will, whoever, organize your flights and your visa. And so you fly off. Before you do, you would have signed a contract saying, you know, this is how much pay I'm going to get. These are the hours I'll be working from when to when. I'll be living in the hotel. Some hotels you live just outside. They'll provide you with an apartment outside the hotel because it's more cost effective. some hotels, it's $500 a night, which is quite expensive, and they can put you out in an apartment and only pay $100 a night. So it's better. Some hotels will put you into a room inside the hotel, others won't. Just depends. So it's lovely for us. You get that. Living in a hotel is pretty amazing. It usually comes with all the food as well. So sometimes they've got really, really flash restaurants, and you can't eat in those. They'll say, "No, sorry, you've got to eat in this other restaurant or something." It doesn't matter to me, man. I'm eating and I'm happy. So I don't complain about that. That's amazing. It's an amazing life, man. They'll do all your laundry for you. They come and clean the room every day, change your towels. Like a normal hotel, they just do everything for you. And so what I was doing, I just play all day. I practice. Of course, I go out every now and again, but for the most part, I'm there to work 6 days a week. How do you get that job? Well, I'll tell you how I got that job. Back in about 2004, I was teaching full-time at some colleges here, and I didn't want to do it anymore, so I quit. And I really wanted to perform. And so I put a little ad on. In New Zealand, we've got a chain of stores called the Rock Shop, and they sell all types of instruments and musical-related equipment. So I put my details, my biography on their website. It was really cheap at the time. What I mean by cheap is that you couldn't even upload a picture of yourself. It was just a few lines. My name is Joshua Rogers. I've been teaching. I've had some live experience playing. Blah blah blah. And I got a phone call from a guy in China, and he wasn't Chinese. He was a Kiwi, a New Zealander. His whole band was New Zealanders. There was 8 of them, and they'd been playing in Shanghai for about a year, and they were coming back to New Zealand for a holiday and to change their lineup because their guitarist wanted to leave. And so he reached out to me from China. He rang me at about 3 in the morning, New Zealand time, and I answered the phone. Oh, yeah, hello. And I heard this voice. Oh, are you Joshua Rogers? Are you the guy that put the ad in the Rock Shop Classifieds? Yeah, that's me. Oh, my name's Petziolo. I'm calling you from Shanghai, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, to cut a long story short, we arranged a time for him to audition me when they came back. So he picked me up in Auckland. I drove down to Wellington with him, did the audition, got the job, and then his band flew out to Dubai, and then I joined them about 6 weeks later after I'd learned a lot of songs. So that's how I got that job. It was just the thinnest of threads. I just took a chance and put my little bio up on this Rock Shop Classifieds ad banner thing. And that's how I got that job. For you, where are you anyway, man? Nahuel, Corito. Where are you? Which country are you in? Hey, good night, Ellison. You have a good one. Thank you for chiming in and having a listen. I'll definitely do more lives. Ah, you're from Argentina. Man, cool. Great beef, great rugby. Take it easy on the All Blacks. Oh, Buenos Aires, man. Nice, bro. Hope I can get there one day. I can't speak for Colombia because I worked with heaps of people from Colombia, man. There's a lot of Colombians out there doing what I do, like playing in these fancy hotels around the world. Yeah, I really wouldn't know how to sort of jump in there from your location, but just the thing is just to try to get yourself online. I can see you speak English, sweet as. So yeah, try to have a look at my video about me. I think it's called How to Earn $100,000 as a Musician or something like that. Watch that video, man. Watch that video. The last tune I just played, Pete, was the Grand Valse. It's a Nokia tune. Grand Valse. Actually, I think I can type. Oh, I can. I wish I could remember. Yeah, this is the part. Those bars. That's the Nokia tune, man. Who would have thought? Even I didn't know that until just before I learned this piece a few years ago. I learned this piece especially for this channel because someone requested it. And I had no idea. Yeah, maybe he didn't get a penny. He probably didn't. Wherever he is, he probably doesn't need one. Well, I've noticed I've been going nearly 2 hours, so I'll probably hang around for another 15 minutes or so. So if you got any questions for me or whatever, feel free before I go off and have some ice cream. What's the time here? Oh, it's 2 o'clock. I think someone donated something to me. Let me check. Oh, yeah, so nice. Yeah, absolutely, Mason. Pete, Mason's talking about the public domain, which means we're able to reproduce his music and not pay him a penny. Just to keep that thread going, you know, that you started. Things pass into the out of like copyright protection. It means anyone can do anything with it without fear of infringing on a copyright. Oh, another Joshua there. Where are you from, man? What advice would I give for someone starting out on the classical guitar? If you can, get a good teacher. Get a good teacher and learn music theory at the same time. That's the advice I'd give. Yeah, get a good teacher and learn theory at the same time. They go hand in hand. Now, just been chatting with some people before you jumped in, right back almost at the beginning of the stream, and there was a lady saying, "Oh, she can't read music, and she's wondering how to go about reading music." Alison, I think her name was, and it can be a challenge, for someone that's already started playing and then thinks, "Oh, gee, I should learn some theory." I think if you're just starting out, pretend that there's no difference between actually playing and theory. Treat it all as one part of the whole thing that you're doing, your pursuit of the guitar. Oh, it's changing to include family rights. Interesting. I wonder how far back they'll be able to take that. It's pretty complicated. $50 to $70 years in the US. Yep, that'll be about right. It's different, around the world. So that's why it's so kind of tricky. And it's another reason why I try to keep things really old. I like my video for Hotel California. In my way of thinking, I'd say it was easily one of the most accurate versions of the solo you'll ever get on acoustic guitar. I made it on acoustic, and it was killing for a while there. I mean, my channel was exploding. I think if it wasn't hit up for copyright infringement, that it would have been, I'd say it would be in the 20-30 million views by now, for sure. And I probably would have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, I'd say. But it got flagged for copyright, and I got in contact with UPMG, who were the copyright holders, and I even said I'd pay. They didn't want it. I don't know how. I don't know what happened. I said, I'll pay for the rights. It was $2,000 per year for me to have that video on my channel, which I was comfortable with at the time. I thought, well, this could do great things for me. I'll pay it. And so I said, yeah, I'll pay. And they turned my request down. I appealed it twice. And still, so sadly, those videos are not available. But that's part of the complexity of copyrights and stuff. But you know, the Eagles, they're pretty full on with their copyrights. The Chile. Oh, I got some good mates from there. I was in a band with a guy from Chile, Carlos Miranda. Good dude. Loves Bon Jovi. What do I think is a good sounding classical guitar? One that's in tune. That helps. I'm not being facetious or cheeky. Have a guitar that's in tune with good strings. That's helpful. You'd be surprised. Oh, my guitar sounds terrible. When did you change the strings? Do you change the strings? Okay, so, but yeah, I think I know that's not what you're really wanting to know. A good sounding guitar should be clear, of course. Like, you don't really want basses overpowering melody notes. This guitar, for example, it's nice, but it has a fairly weak bass. If you go back and you listen to my recordings on YouTube here, you'll find that sometimes the bass is just lost. It's just there. And it's not my technique. It's the guitar itself. It just doesn't favor the basses. So you want a guitar that's, projects all the notes out there equally. And then it's much easier for you to articulate whatever you want to articulate in the piece you're playing. Intonation, of course, is a big one. You want a guitar that's in tune with itself. So, yeah, just a nice, even-sounding guitar. Good projection. You don't want to feel like you just played and then it's dead. You want the sort of notes to ring on, to be quite powerful, clear. To me, that's what a good-sounding guitar is. Oh, Beethoven. What? Wow. How could you even... I don't know too much about American law, but I know this thing called the statute of limitations. I guess I wouldn't be able to retroactively go back and try to get money out of people for copying Beethoven's music. I would imagine if something happens and a precedent is made, they'll probably make it from that time forward. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But fair enough, I guess. Beethoven's family, they might be thinking, man, it's my great uncle and ripped off, something like that. Very interesting. I wonder who's going to decide that. Hey, hasta luego, Nahuel. Have a good one, man. Oh, Nigeria. Wow, a truly international audience we have. I've learned some fingerstyle songs from you in the past. Cool, man. Thanks so much. Is it essential to learn how to read music? Ooh, this is like one of those questions, man, that no. To be a great musician, absolutely not. You don't even need to read one note to be a phenomenal musician. So reading sheet music, no. If you're asking if you have to, in order to become a great musician, do you have to read sheet music? Absolutely not. You do not need to learn how to read sheet music. However, if you want to play pieces like the stuff that I play on, you know, sort of the really well-loved classical pieces, Cavatina, those kinds of pieces, I'd say yes, it's a good idea to, because you're going to be independent. You don't need to sit on YouTube and watch me go, put your first finger there and put your second finger there and put your, you know, that's pretty tedious. Imagine just being able to sit in your room, got the sheet music in front of you, and just boom, you're in. You don't need me. You don't need to look at my face. You don't need anything. You just need that sheet of paper and your guitar and some time. It's a bit of a long-winded answer, but if you want to continue studying music at a higher institute of learning, like a university, college, conservatory, somewhere like that, absolutely, you have to learn to read music. It depends what your ultimate goal is, Josh. Machine heads are much better. Yeah, I like high tension strings. Yeah, I don't know why, just like that. Like I gotta work. Oh, you've got a guitar that belonged to your cousin. Keep it, man. You know, that's a family heirloom. Doesn't matter if it costs $50. Those kinds of guitars, you know, my old man had a good guitar, and I sort of wrecked it when I was young, and I didn't really realize what I was doing. You know, I was kind of destroying this legacy thing that he had, and I wish now that I just left that guitar alone. And it's gone now. I totaled it, and yeah, it was a family heirloom. You know, I didn't think about it like that. I was too young, too dumb, didn't care. Just wanted a flash guitar with a wicked paint job and all that. And I regret it, man. And I'll never get that guitar back. So yeah, that could be something to keep. You know, just put it in the cupboard and get yourself a really cool one when you can. My first guitar came from underneath the house in the dirt. That was my uncle gave it to me. So sadly, that got lost at a party. I took it to a party. I shouldn't have. It got taken. Elias, hey, oh, another person from Brazil. You know, I have noticed I've got a lot of subscribers from Brazil. So thank you guys out there. A lot of great music. Woo. The American Parlor. Is it? Those are small, eh? Like I don't know too much about those. Is it the small, really small guitar? Oh, these are nice stories, man. Thank you all for sharing this stuff. It's cool. Have you guys seen the other YouTuber? I think his name's Brandon Aker. He's probably got the best haircut on YouTube, hands down. Go and check him out. Amazing guitar player, and he plays a lot of period instruments too. I think I've seen him rocking out on Theorbo, if you guys don't know it. It's got a neck. It's probably, I don't know, man, a meter and a half, 2 meters long. Well worth checking out his channel. Yeah, Brandon Aker, I think. I'm subscribed to him, but I just can't quite remember his name.
I can't connect to the public Wi-Fi network.
Whoa.
You might need to update your connection. Take a look at the help section in your Alexa app.
Don't know where they came from. I'm in my caravan. It's brand new. It's got Alexa sound control. Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Connect to the public Wi-Fi network. You might need to update your connection. Take a look at the help section in your Alexa app.
Oh, you know him, Mason. Oh, I see a couple of you know him. Thanks, Pete. I think so too, man. Yeah, this is low maintenance. Save on shampoo and conditioner. His hair makes him look so pompous. Yeah. Oh, man, I don't know. At my point, I just wish I had some. Skynet, yeah. Good old end of days. Considering what's going on, maybe. Irwan, Sugianto, apa kabar dari Indonesia? I like cheese too. I'm learning El Vito. No, I don't think I do, bro. El Vito. Bim the priest. Oh, prayer-ist stepsister. I like cheese. What kind of cheese? These are the things we need to know. You know, because I'm collecting data. Extra cheese. Well, everybody, I'm up to 2 hours now, so I think it's time for me to take off. It's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you for making this first live stream of mine. Really cool. It's been amazing to see all the comments and learn a little bit about you guys. Bought an amazing guitar. Pre-war O-twin archtop jazz guitar. Man, I don't really know. I know the archtop. I'm not sure about O-twin. Is that the brand? Awesome. Pre-war. Are we talking pre-World War I? World War II? I think it must be World War II. Hey, you're welcome, Mason. Thank you. Yeah, wow, thank you, man. Anyway, people, I shall see you another time. I'll try to give a little bit of warning before I go live next time. But keep on playing, and as you know, let your fingers fly. Later, peeps.